right now I'm sitting on a shuttle at a parking garage at O'Hare Airport. I'll give you some more information when I get to the airport, but I'm going on a little bit of a trip. You may have seen the time lapse of me driving. That was from Syracuse to Chicago. So more information when I get to the Delta Lounge, because that's where I'm going next, to the Sky Lounge. Passengers should check their airfare for further information. Okay, so as you can see, this is not a Delta Sky Lounge. What happened is I got through TSA and had a hard time actually finding the lounge. I wandered around for quite some time before I finally located the Delta Sky Lounge. Went in there, they asked me to scan my boarding pass, and come to find out, and this is a new thing, this was not like this the last time I flew, with Delta now, if you have a basic fare, their cheapest fare, you can't get into the Delta Sky Lounge. I mean, first world problem, like, it was still frustrating because I left early to get there early because they supposedly have a really fantastic Sky Lounge, so I wanted to check it out. I ended up going to a Frontera Cucina and just having a few drinks and watching some food, or watching some TV. I had a couple of great conversations actually with some people, so that was kind of cool, but I didn't film anything. I was really irritated. I was already tired. By the time I got to Seattle, which is where I'm at, by the way, by the time I got to Seattle and Marc, my friend Marc, picked me up, we got back to his house. I had a beer. I had been awake for over 20 hours, and I was just like, I'm done. I need to traveling for 20 hours, actually up for 25. I'm like, or 22. I'm like, I need to go to bed. We are, I'm showered, my clothes, I'm washing some clothes before we finish packing up. And if I have not told you what I'm doing yet, we're going to be riding the Empire Builder. Empire Builder is one of Amtrak's premier train lines. It runs from Seattle and Portland to Spokane, where the two trains meet up, and then from there to Chicago with a few stops along the way. And then when we get to Chicago, Marc and I are going to spend a couple of days there bouncing around. So that's the plan. That's where I'm at. That's what I'm doing. So come along. It should be fun. I'm going to follow you. All right, we were walking into King Street Station here in Seattle, going on the Empire Builder. Let's see what we got going on here. Not too bad. No, not too bad at all. I'm in 3 right here, yeah. 5. Oh, definitely very, very tight. Oh, that'll work. That works.
Definitely cozy.
Yeah, definitely very, very tight and cozy. I'm glad we got our own rooms, though.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Can you even imagine?
I couldn't even imagine being stuck in that small space with you.
Everett. That's station. Don't live here.
At any, you see it all the time.
Over on the left, it's been renovated and is open for business. The Bush House is a white frame. Trees. That's what's left of the 2022 boat. And we are approaching the town of Skycomish, which developed in the late around 1890 with the construction of the Great Northern Railway. Some say it got its start because it's the last relatively flat spot before the last 11-mile pull of the New Cascade Town.
I'm on the Empire Builder. As I said, this is a Amtrak train, and we are heading from Seattle to Chicago. Currently in Eastern Washington. You might have seen some of the video along the way here as I've been going along, but it's absolutely gorgeous. Just unbelievably gorgeous out here. We had dinner earlier. Dinner was nice. We sat across from a couple from California. They're in retirement now, and they're making a long trip of it as well, doing a very similar thing to what we're doing. They're actually going to stop in Glacier and spend the night there. I find that fascinating, and actually maybe a couple days, and then they're going to get back on the train and finish the trip to Chicago. So I think that's really neat. And yeah, the food was okay. It wasn't anything great. I mean, I certainly wasn't didn't blow my mind or anything like that, but it was pretty good. Breakfast in the morning. It is almost dark. Mark and I made an agreement that as soon as it was too dark to see out the windows anymore, I might as well go to bed. I may watch something on Netflix or something like that before I go to bed. And I'm reading my book right now. I just figured I'd hop on here and record a little bit before I call it a night. It's a comfortable little space in here. I really can't complain too much about what I have to sleep in. I'm going to sleep. There's a bunk above me here. I'm going to sleep up there and just leave all my stuff out so I can charge, electronics and have my bags accessible and stuff like that. So this is good. So for the first day, I can't complain. And then we have all day tomorrow into the nighttime, sleep another night tomorrow night, and then later in the afternoon, around dinner time, we'll arrive in Chicago. So it's a long trip, but if it's enjoyable, I may do something like this again. The wife and I were talking about it, so we'll see what Jessica thinks after I finish it and have my review of the whole thing. So I will catch you guys in the morning. Good morning from day 2 on the Empire Builder. Sleep was interesting. I probably woke up about 1,000 times. I can't check my Whoop until I have internet access, but I got woken by a lot of jostling all through the night. However, I don't feel super tired right now, so I either got enough sleep or I just got through it. I don't even know how to explain it. But anyway, this is what you wake up to here on the Empire Builder. It's about 6, well now it's 6:30. I already went down, took a shower. Showers were actually really nice. I got a little bit of video there I can show you. And I'm gonna head to breakfast pretty soon. I'm not normally a breakfast person, but it's free. I'm on a train. I'm not doing anything for a couple days. I probably won't eat lunch too, so it'll probably be a breakfast and dinner kind of thing. And we'll go from there. I don't want to talk too loud because there's people meandering in the hallways here. I got my room door is closed. Right behind this is a door. I slept right up there. But yeah, overall, man, this is not a bad experience. I can't complain. And you really can't complain with views like this when you're sitting on a train. Got a chance to get off the train. That's pretty nice. We are in shoot, I forgot the name of it. White something, Montana. It is beautiful up here. So after that stop, we went into the evening of night 2. And that is when everything kind of fell apart on this trip. First of all, the dining car no longer worked. Nothing could be heated. They ended up ordering in pizzas that ended up showing up to the train, meeting us late in the evening, close to like 8 or 9 o'clock, and it was well after 10:30 before we got the call to come down to the dining car to eat cold pizza. To add insult to injury, the water in our train car stopped working. So there were no longer working bathrooms or showers. We had to walk down to the next car if we wanted to go to the bathroom. And then after a while, the attendants from that car started getting irritated that we kept coming down to their car, and we all just felt really, really set aside and forgotten about by the members of Amtrak. Marc's mood during this period of time also declined quite significantly. So while looking back on these videos nostalgically, it was beautiful, but this period of time was really quite rough, unfortunately. But we did get through it, and we finally got to day 3, which, in my opinion, got much better. So I have not recorded much on this trip because there's been a series of calamities, if you will, delays and issues with the train and stuff like that, which I'll talk about more later. Actually, you're probably already hearing them in the video because I'm going to do a voiceover later on. But it is we're in Minneapolis, St. Paul right now, just kind of taking a little bit of a break. It's nice to get these times off the train because it does get very tedious sitting there for hours on end. So Minneapolis, St. Paul right there. So we'll be heading back on the train, so we're a few hours away from Chicago, so this trip is almost over, and then we have a couple days in Chicago to do things. So we finally arrived in Chicago, so we're heading outside to grab an Uber to the hotel for now. Marc's getting photographed, so I'm heading out this way. He'll meet me out here. How we doing, Mark? No, Mark's not participating. Mark's not happy because we're walking in the bright ass sun in 90+ degree weather through downtown Chicago right now. He is not happy. As you can see, we're going by the Art Institute right now. There's the lions. Hello, lions. We're going back to the hotel having a drink. You down for a drink, Mark?
Not right now.
Mark is not happy right now.
I feel like I'm swimming in my clothes.
All right, so that was our trip to Chicago via the Empire Builder. I actually have a friend here. Here's Mark. Mark, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, what did you think? That's your first time seeing the video. What did you think?
Well, I think you did an impressive job with the video.
What were your thoughts? I mean, we've talked about this so many times over the last couple of years. What were your thoughts after that trip?
So I don't have a lot of trauma in my life, but that trip is one of them. I don't even know what to say. You caught it just perfectly in your video. I mean, it was a train wreck, literally. And then we got to Chicago and it was fantastic. We had a great time. So, you know.
Well, up until those last moments, that walking back from the Field Museum, you were definitely not in a very good mood. That was a long walk, though.
Yeah, I get you what you're saying, but you know, that was more me and that was an act.
For the record, it was about 90 degrees that day, and we walked from the end, like right by the river. Yeah, we walked from the river to the Willis Tower, then from the Willis Tower to the Field Museum. Almost got run over by Trump's entourage because they were doing that big interview thing, and then we. What happened after that? Oh, then we walked from the Field Museum all the way back through Lollapalooza because all of the blockades were up for Lollapalooza, and then we got all the way back to the hotel, and you were just done. And then that wasn't even it. There was a bunch of stuff we didn't film. We went to 3 Dots and a Dash, the tiki bar that's there. Yep. We got our car back. I got the Jeep back. Scared the shit out of you with the Jeep around Chicago driving through that city. So it was quite a trip.
You stole someone's keys.
I did not steal someone's keys. Important to note. There was a valet by the tiki bar. We got back in the car. They went and got my Jeep, brought us back. I got in the car. We drove away. And like an hour later, I found keys in my seat that were not mine. I made several phone calls the next morning trying to find the owners. Nobody would answer the phone. I couldn't even get anybody on the phone to take them. I called the police department. They're like, just keep trying to get a hold of the parking place.
Well, you even walked up to someone in the parking place and they're like, nah, you're good.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was our trip. If you've ever been interested in trying the Empire Builder, which is one of Amtrak's premier trips across the country, they'd go both directions from Seattle to Chicago and then Chicago back to Seattle. Mark, moment of truth, would you do that trip again?
So let me give a little bit of feedback on that. So I think what happened to us, let me start over. When every Amtrak trip I've ever heard of has a problem. The problem for our trip is we had all of the problems at once. So if you got on an Amtrak and you either have an issue with the dining car or a bathroom or, you know, crazy people in the, you know, oh God, don't even get me started with that. If you have one problem, you're fine. If you have multiple, it's going to be an issue. The lady across the hall from me, you remember her?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was something.
So, she was telling me about her last trip and how the biggest problem was the engine caught on fire. So, you know, it's not just a one-time thing. It seems to happen. Again, if we'd had one of those issues, it would have been completely fine. We were prepared for that. The problem was every issue that happens on an Amtrak happened to us.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard to come back from that. I mean, it was to the point where I almost tried to charge back the ticket. I decided not to because it's an experience I'm glad we had, but it was a thought. I mean, it was that bad.
Yeah, it was quite the experience. We were talking before we watched the video together. When I look back on this trip, I have fond memories of it. In the moment, especially those last day, it was rough. But looking back on it, our brains have a way of blocking out the bad stuff and just remembering the good stuff. And I had a blast. I mean, and filming or editing the video today was a lot of fun, and And it, like I said, it's mostly good memories, not bad ones when I look back on it.
Well, and the bad ones are now funny, and I think
Yes.
that's a memory we both have. And it'll never be a 100% positive experience, but man, it sure seems funny now. So, I can look back on it like that, and I think that's a huge positive. Would I do another trip that far? Probably not. Would I like to do the Canadian Railway? Yes.
Yeah.
Would I like to do a different Amtrak where, maybe here to Portland or, Seattle to Portland would be great, something short. Yeah, I'd do that again.
That's awesome. Well, hey, Mark, thanks for coming on and doing a little reaction to the video afterward. And we'll do something like this. I've got a bunch of videos of different trips that I filmed. Mark loves to give me a hard time that I don't get these things edited after the fact. And I believe he's frozen up on me right now. It's a perfect time for me to say, oh, you're not frozen up. You're just sitting there like that. Well, yeah. I'll get some more videos done that include Mark, and we'll do another one of these reaction videos again and see how Mark feels about it. Mark, thank you very much for coming on board today.
Thank you for having me on. These are great. These are memories we both have, and I appreciate you putting them up.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. All right. Well, as always, thank you for watching the Christopher Hess Show. I will catch you tomorrow with another video. Have a good night. Hey, thanks again for watching the Christopher Hess Show. I'm really glad you took the time to watch. Now, if you liked what you saw, you can click right here. This will help you subscribe to my channel. Or you can click over here for a video that YouTube thinks is one you would like to watch. Once again, thanks for watching and have a great day.